What's happening? What up? What it do? That's for sure. But everybody in my city say, what up, doe? What up? What up, doe? What up? What's up, doe? What's everybody doing? How's everybody doing? It's the 27th day of the 12th month. You know, we got 4 days. 4 days till we enter the new year. Hell yeah, I'm ready. I'm for it. I'm for it. I'm for it. I'm always for it. You know. So let me start it off right here. We got the copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act, 1976. Allowance is made for the fair use for purpose such as criticism, comment, and reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Y'all, you heard me say it. You saw me say it. You can't say I didn't. It's in the chat. It's in the description. You can't sue me. You know, you can't. You can try, but you can't. So, I told y'all we was gonna come back after yesterday, you know what I'm saying? The corruption is boy oh boy, real oh real in the D-ski, y'all. And let me take a second real quick to shout out to my replay gang. Shout out to my replay gang. Leave your girl a comment, you know what I'm saying? And shout out to my bush watchers. Yes, I'm talking to you. Yeah, you. Take whatever finger you would like. Real smooth like, real cool like. And tizzy tap on that thumbs up button for your girl. There's some emojis on the right, you know. Click on whatever one you would like. You know. Share the live, share the live. Subscribe, you guys. You know, it's free. All this right here is free 99. 0.00. Just free. You know? So help support your girl. I'm trying to get to I got a long tote to go. So I need 410 for my platform to reach the next level. But you know, I believe in myself. So that's my goal. And that's what I'm gonna try to do. I got this. So hell yeah, share the live, subscribe y'all. It's free. Support, it's free. Um so yeah, yesterday when we was breaking down you know, Kwame, Tamara Green, Worthless. Worthless been coming up a lot and all these things. I started to think, damn it, you know, tonight we gotta do monster number 4. Shit, I might make Kim Worthless monster number 4. Cause she's a fucking monster. You know how many innocent people's life she's taken, how many tax papers she's stolen from. You know, Kim Worthy might be monster number 4 tonight. Yeah. And you know, I've seen a lot of shows that you know, the conspirator goes to jail also. So in that sense, I think she's a red rummer too. So, she might have to be monster number 4 tonight. You know? This bitch is crazy. She got a lot going on. She's dirty. She's corrupt. Scandalous. But moving on. So y'all, Mr. Mayor Coleman, y'all in Detroit, there's some clips, but there's not uh, any long breakdown. And you know, I get it. I understand why. So there's a little bit of there's a you know the pretty much the gist of it. You know, and then I found a good video about the corruption, you know, involving him and, you know, all of them. So we gonna break it down, y'all. Again, we got 4 days left until the year of 2026 we enter, y'all. All right. Let's roll the motherfucking clip. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
always been a city of legends, innovators, and power players, but it's also been a city with no shortage of political scandals. When people think of corruption in Detroit, they often remember Kwame Kilpatrick. Yet decades earlier, another mayor ruled with an iron fist. His name was Coleman Young, the first black mayor of Detroit, a man who held power for 20 years and transformed the city's politics. But power often comes with shadows, and Young's legacy is filled with unanswered questions, whispers of backdoor deals, and a scandal that still raises eyebrows today. Young secretly operated a private company called Detroit Technology and Investments Incorporated. It sounded official, but nobody even knew it existed. No records, no public mention. The office was tucked away in a building owned by a developer who got massive tax breaks from the city. Even stranger, Young didn't use the office himself. Instead, it was regularly visited by Kenneth Weiner, a former high-ranking police official who became the face of one of Detroit's biggest corruption scandals. Weiner controlled a multi-million-dollar police narcotics fund meant to take down drug dealers. Instead of fighting crime, he siphoned off millions of dollars for his own luxury lifestyle, while undercover officers were forced to pay out of pocket just to run sting operations. The corruption ran so deep that some of the stolen money even paid for a California home for the daughter of Police Chief William Hart, the man leading the department. When reporters investigated, they uncovered a direct link between Weiner and Young's private business. Young dismissed the questions, insisting it was his private business, and claiming he didn't know Weiner, even though Weiner was operating out of his office. This connection raised suspicions that the corruption reached far higher than anyone dared to prove. In the end, Kenneth Weiner went to prison, and the scandal exposed widespread corruption in Detroit's police department. Yet Coleman Young faced no charges, kept his position, and was re-elected multiple times. Supporters saw him as a strong leader who defended the city, while critics pointed to his refusal to answer questions about the scandal as a sign of deep political protection. Coleman Young's story is one of power, politics, and unanswered questions. He remains a historic figure, Detroit's first black mayor, a man who reshaped the city's politics, but whose name is forever tied to controversy. Decades later, Detroiters still debate, was Young an untouchable leader caught in a web of corruption, or was he quietly pulling the strings behind one of the city's darkest scandals?
Again, y'all, there's not a lot. It's just like little clips like this. There's no like, there's just little whispers and talk, and but if you know, you know. In the D, y'all. If you know, you know, you know. So let me play this gem that I found. Let me stop sharing here. Yeah. Go back here. So I want y'all to see that it says, is Detroit the most corrupt major U.S. city? Let's see. Let's talk about it.
Really quick, as if you're like me and you're someone that has a tougher time trying to sleep at night, make sure to check out Manta's fine selection of sleep masks down below. Getting mine 2 months ago was a lifesaver for me, and it can be for you too. Make sure to check out the link below and use promo code ChrisH at checkout to get 10% off of your order. In this episode of Why Detroit Has Failed, we'll be talking about some of the city's leaders over the years and how selfish acts of greed from politicians and police officers alike has ruined the city's reputation over the years. It appears that the current mayor, Mike Duggan, is doing his best to run things the right way, but it's going to take decades of doing things the right way before the reputation can be restored. The problem is, even today, Detroit faces political corruption. Not necessarily to any wrongdoing on Duggan's part, but we'll get into as much of it as we can in this video, as Detroit has most certainly been one of the most corrupt major US cities over the years. And oh yes, Detroit's almighty 8 Mile Road, full of pawn shops, cheap bars, gas stations, warehouses, and worn-out strip malls. Well, this is going to be my 17th video in my Detroit series, where I go through the entire city. If you're going by zip code, we'll mostly be within the 4-8.
See, if you know, you know. When 8 Mile turns into baseline, you know you're good in a sense. You know what I'm saying? And then, when 8 Mile goes into Macomb County, when you're on the east side, from 8 Mile, 7 Mile going that way, that's bad. But after you hit, the other side 8 Mile, you better, you know what I'm saying? Crazy work, the same thing. 6 Mile, 6 Mile, you're good. But when 6 Mile turns into McNichols, that's when you know. If you know, you know. Just like 5 Mile. When you're on 5 Mile, you're good when you're on 5 Mile. But when it turns into Finkel, y'all, if you know, you know. So, let's keep listening.
234 zip code in this video. A good chunk of this section of the city is industrial, as one of the area's main railroad lines runs through in a north-south direction between Mound and Van Dyke, meaning that there's a lot of industrial zoning surrounding the railroad line and along some of the major thoroughfares. First, we'll go over the economic stats for the 48234 zip code. About 34,000 people live here, and the median household income is $31,000 per year. Only 11% of adults 25 and older hold a bachelor's degree or higher, and the median value of owner-occupied housing units is $43,000, while the poverty rate is 31.8%. The only stat that fares better than the Detroit average is the poverty rate, as the value of housing and household income is just a hair lower. The crime rates here are right on par with the Detroit overall average, and Niche.com ranks the public schools as a C-. And compared to the rest of Detroit, a C- isn't too bad. To the right is the Michigan Light Guard Armory, which is owned by the Army and is
I would have to disagree with him. Detroit schools, especially on the east side, they should be shut the fuck down. So that means F. Failing, not no fucking C-. So, I disagree on that one. That's just my opinion.
operated in Detroit since 1830. The original building was in downtown, but it was destroyed by a fire in the early 1900s, so today it sits off of 8 Mile. Alright, so let's talk corruption in Detroit. It's no secret that Detroit has been one of the most politically corrupt major cities in the country over the years. Political corruption is defined by the abuse of entrusted power for private gain, and it ruins the public's trust with the government, and it discourages economic development. Political corruption will always involve money. Some of those ways are when politicians steal taxpayers' money from the city straight up for their own personal use, like Kwame Kilpatrick did, and I'll explain more of what he did later on in the video. Other ways include when corporations or other companies bribe officials to get deals such as tax breaks, or, quite possibly, city officials overcharging for simple city services only for residents and businesses to not see a return on investment, so to speak, on improving the quality of life in their city or neighborhood. Unfortunately, in Detroit, residents and businesses have had to deal with multiple corrupt officials for a long time, and that's a big reason as to why the city continues to lose its population at an extreme pace. And for the next several minutes, I'll share some examples of the corruption that Detroit has seen. As we're about to head south on Van Dyke, briefly I'll start with some older examples, as one of the first city leaders to rob the city of Detroit was William Hart back in 1976. Hart was hired as the city's police chief by Detroit's first black mayor, Coleman Young. Hart, who served as Detroit's police chief for 15 years, ended up embezzling $2.6 million from a fund that was intended to be used to fight illegal drugs throughout the city. At the time, a trial testimony revealed that some of the money went towards funding an armored limo for Mayor Young, along with a satellite TV system for his own personal residence. Hart was indicted on February 11, 1991, and used the embezzled money in multiple ways for his own personal use, including to buy expensive cars and by using it on 3 former girlfriends throughout his term, such as buying expensive clothing, vacations, and concert tickets. Hart also renovated his home and a getaway cottage in Canada. On top of that, Hart was proven to have filed false tax returns in 1986 and in 87. Filing false tax returns is going to be a common occurrence throughout the examples that I give you of public corruption in this video. Meanwhile, you can see here that Van Dyke is just like most other major thoroughfares in Detroit, as it's full of abandoned retail. And while we're on the subject of Coleman Young, many people believe that Young was corrupt, who served as the mayor for Detroit for 20 years, from 1974 to 1994. The reason why Young was a polarizing mayor is because of how he portrayed himself to the public. He often wouldn't hold back in using cuss words or in calling people racist. While that side of Coleman Young drew in black residents from Detroit, it pushed white residents away even further, and that made what was already a very segregated city an even more segregated city, possibly even the most segregated city in the country. Young also wouldn't take criticism very well, and he would often say that the reason why he was seeing criticism is because he was a black mayor and that people didn't want to see a black man be successful. At the same time, he would often downplay the reality of the issues that the city was facing when he was asked about it. Issues such as having an extremely high crime rate, an extremely high tax rate, and seeing the tax base leave the city in droves, mostly due to those issues. Detroit lost residents at a faster rate during the 1980s and 90s than at any other point of the city's downfall, with the 2000s being the lone exception, which was when Kilpatrick was in office. Anyway, during the 80s and 90s, during the 20 years that Coleman Young was in office, Detroit lost as many as 500,000 residents. And today, for comparison, only just above 600,000 are left in the city. Anyway, Young's behavior sparked much tension with his relationship with the overall public, and he had a very close relationship with his niece, Kathy Volson, who he would often refer to as his daughter. However, Volson dated and married Johnny Curry, who was the leader of the Curry trafficking ring back in the 80s. Anyway, Young put together a 24-hour security group called the Black Bag Squad, and this group was to protect his niece and to not interfere with Curry's business. It was a highly controversial thing when it was happening, and it should be no surprise that it had a negative effect when it came to public trust. The FBI estimated that Curry and his brother sold as much as $200 million worth of drugs during the 1980s. And with that said, Young was never charged with corruption despite the sketchy behavior.
So, we have the corruption started with Hart, did Coleman, but Coleman was a corrupt rug dealer type of mayor. So he was real, okay, makes sense. That's why Big M said like he was about business. He was one of them corrupt mayors. Okay, at least he was getting fucking money. Shit. So I mean, it's been corrupt mayor, corrupt mayor, corrupt mayor, corrupt mayor, and we gonna see about the first woman mayor. We gonna find out, Detroit.
And speaking of Young, we're not that far from the Coleman A. Young International Airport, aka the Detroit City Airport, as it sits across the cemetery that we're passing by on the left, which is the Mount Olivet Cemetery, and it covers about 300 acres of land. It's the largest.
The Coleman Young Airport, which is off of Gratiot on Connors. The big graveyard runs, yeah. Now it makes sense. I always knew the name, but now I know why it's named that. It has ties to him. Right off Gratiot, right on Connors, is the little private little airport on the east side. Yep, the east side, the hood, the east side got a little airport over there. It's up and running. It be running. They be flying up out of there. But not no like take a trip type shit. Dang, that's why it's called that. Okay. Learn something new every day. I love it.
Largest cemetery in Detroit, and it's been around since 1888. The most notable name buried in this cemetery would be Zeke Zettner, who was a member of the rock band The Stooges. Otherwise, the notable names of the ones who have been laid to rest at this cemetery includes a list of people who were athletes and politicians with their careers peaking in the first half of the 20th century. Going back on the timeline of Detroit corruption just a bit, as there was another former mayor named Louis Mariani that served in office before Young. From 1957 to 1962, Mariani didn't steal from the city necessarily, but he was indicted on federal income tax evasion as he failed to report about $261,000 of income that he earned while serving as the mayor of Detroit. This was also the beginning of Detroit's economic downward spiral, and the city saw an unemployment rate of 20% while Mariani was in office. And as we continue to head through, you can see the blue-collar nature of the city as we're heading through an industrial area. Pretty tough and rough-looking place. Even before Mariani, there were corruption cases with previous mayors and politicians of Detroit. And you can find corruption cases in Detroit in just about every decade of the city's existence, but I won't bore you with too many other examples from the years before I was born, as you could make a documentary series on the damage that Kwame Kilpatrick has done alone. Kilpatrick basically took a city that was already financially strained through bad political decisions over the years and a declining tax base and made things horrifically worse. Kilpatrick played a huge role in helping the city of Detroit file for the largest municipal bankruptcy in the country's history, as the city's debt was estimated at $19 billion back in 2013.
What's that I hear? Is that Chicago laughing? Well, better not be judging Chicago, 'cause you're next.
Wow, $19 billion. I was writing down all the numbers just between, we ain't even heard about Patrick yet. I don't know if they have, Worthless a part of this video, because millions and millions they've been playing with Detroit for years, since the 50s. Probably even before then. Wow.
You best believe that you're next. Anyway, Kilpatrick was the mayor of the Motor City from 2002 to 2008. Originally, he was well liked by the residents as he was young, charismatic, and energetic. However, upon being elected mayor, the scandals began almost immediately. Kilpatrick used taxpayer money to lease his wife a new Lincoln Navigator. That was only one of the things, as he ended up using $210,000 in taxpayer money for car payments, personal massages, expensive meals, and hotel rooms. Kilpatrick had an affair with the chief of his staff, Christine Beatty, and lied about it under oath, as the truth came out through a string of text messages. Both Kilpatrick and Beatty were charged by the Wayne County prosecutor with counts of perjury, conspiracy to obstruct justice, obstruction of justice, and misconduct. Kilpatrick ultimately was convicted in 2013 on 24 of 30 counts and was sentenced to 28 years in prison. Most of us know that in early 2021, he was released from prison after serving 7 years as then-President Donald Trump commuted his sentence. Oh, and by the way, it's yet again another Detroit neighborhood that finds itself in disrepair. Sure, not every house looks awful, but it's made up of mostly vacant lots where abandoned homes once stood, and there's multiple piles of trash. Most of you have heard me talk about Detroit's illegal dumping problem. Here's yet again another example. The feds called the indictment of Kilpatrick.
It's crazy because that's what it really still looks like. Shit, this is Detroit, y'all. This is fucking Detroit. And the most definitely corrupt. It never stopped. You know, you hear about, you know, corrupt story here and there, but it's just corruption after corruption after fucking corruption. This is crazy. Detroit should be pissed the fuck off. It's crazy. But nah. What can we do?
The Kilpatrick Enterprise, as it was one of the largest investigations of government corruption in recent history. A deeper look into the investigation showed that Kilpatrick's father, Bernard, worked as a quote-unquote political consultant, which allegedly included collecting kickbacks from the city contractors. One of the quote-unquote city contractors was one of Kwame's longtime friends, Bobby Ferguson, who was granted quote-unquote tens of millions of dollars in city jobs that were apparently never done. By the way, this investigation was going on in 2010 while Kilpatrick was living in a large, luxurious mansion in Texas, as that's where he moved his family in attempts to avoid the awkwardness and chaos and confrontation from the mess that he created while serving as the 72nd.
I know that's the fuck right, motherfucker. You. I said it last night. That's why you ain't here. I said he knows. He better not show his face. Again, yeah. They've been stealing from Detroit for, shit. Let me see the 57, 67, 77, 97, 17. Almost 70 years. Probably more. Probably started before then. 70 years. 70 years. Stealing. Millions. Billions. Wow.
Mayor of Detroit. Not to mention that Kilpatrick took the money that was donated to his nonprofit organization for his own personal use, money that totaled up to be $840,000. He used that money like it was his own personal piggy bank, spending it on luxurious living over the years before his prison sentence. But at the time of me uploading this video in August of 2022, which is about 14 years after Kilpatrick's last day serving as the mayor of Detroit, as a part of the court rulings, Kilpatrick was ordered a restitution to pay back $1.5 million to Detroit taxpayers and $195,000 to the IRS, in which a single payment hasn't been made in 9 years. With that said, upon
it's about to be 2026. I don't think he's still made a payment. But you know, in the demonstration yesterday, we heard from Mr. Patrick, and he said he swore up and down it was all about the money. He didn't steal no money. And it's the first time he spoke out in the year of 2025. He said to Detroit, he didn't steal from Detroit. He didn't steal no money. That's what he said. It's in the video from yesterday, y'all. He said he didn't steal. It said $840,000 for own personal use. That's almost $1 million, y'all. He was ordered to pay $1.5 million back to the taxpayers. Taxpayers in Detroit, have you received any money? I know the fuck I haven't. Shit. And it's we got 4 days left. It's 2026, y'all. And he's in Texas, running a church, got a congregation and everything. Run me my money, Patrick. You owe 50 or 1.5 milli to the taxpayers. Run me my money. Anybody else in the D feel that way? Run me my money, bro. What the fuck? He owe.
His release from prison, Kilpatrick had the goal to set up a crowdfunding account to help him and his wife pay for an $800,000 home in Florida to help raise their newborn son.
Wait a minute. This motherfucker's raising money for this guy can't make this shit the fuck up, y'all. Only in America. This is crazy fucking work.
That actually encouraged federal prosecutors to open yet another investigation into Kwame Kilpatrick, asking the federal court to seize money from him and his wife's bank accounts. Today, Kilpatrick has undoubtedly been forced to pay for his actions, as he is a man with $11.5 million in debt altogether. The city of Detroit, unfortunately, has also had to pay for his actions as well, with the largest example being that the city was forced to file for Chapter 9 municipal bankruptcy, which was an embarrassment for the city as it became the largest municipal bankruptcy filing in the nation's history, topping the former winner in Jefferson County, Alabama, who was forced.
We got the record in the whole United States. This city right here. Wow. That's pretty deep. It cuts like a knife, y'all. That's crazy work. And again, 1.5 million is owed to the taxpayers of Detroit. It's about to be 2026. Has anybody yet? I know I had not received a payment, but he's raising money in Texas for a house for him and his new baby, running a fucking church. You can't make this shit up if you tried. You can't.
To file for their own Chapter 9 bankruptcy in 2011. Jefferson County, Alabama is home to Alabama's largest city in Birmingham. Obviously, it's not Kilpatrick's fault alone for Detroit's bankruptcy, as the city was already in massive debt when he took office, and the city had already lost about 800,000 residents at the time. But can you really feel any sympathy for the guy? Plus, Detroit lost residents at a rate of 25% from the year 2000 to 2010. Many people say that it's due to the recession, as the auto industry was hit hard during that era, and some of that is definitely true. But Metro Detroit as a whole lost only 3.3% of its population. A good portion of that, you could say, were from people leaving Detroit and maybe moving out of the region altogether based on their negative experiences from living in the city. The state of Michigan also lost a very small percentage of its population as a whole during that census count. However, both Oakland and Macomb County, the other two major counties in Metro Detroit, saw population gains during the 2010 census count, while Wayne County lost nearly 12% of its population. And you could say that all 12% of that was from people leaving the city of Detroit. Granted, there's a few other suburbs in Wayne County that,
in my opinion, leaving or be lost their life. That's just my opinion. The 12% is not just people leaving. So I guess leaving Earth, 12%. I guess 12%. That's crazy. Just Wayne County alone. That's crazy work.
are struggling, but Detroit, obviously with nearly 1 million people at the time, is the largest contributor to people leaving. And you can blame the auto industry all you want. The auto industry was going through some real failures during that time, as Ford almost filed for bankruptcy, while Chrysler and General Motors both filed for bankruptcy. And we all know of
That's crazy. I didn't know at one point Detroit had a population of 1 million people. Down where it's down to I think it's like 500,000 people or something like that. I can't remember what he said in the beginning of the thing. That's crazy. That's crazy because Detroit again used to be the capital of here, Michigan, the good old Mitten State. You know, wow, crazy work.
Barack Obama's bailout of the auto industry in Detroit. But personally, I think that the majority of the blame should go towards Kwame Kilpatrick and his administration for robbing the city of Detroit and losing the public's trust. I think that's a much larger contributor as to why so many people left Detroit during that time frame, along with the extremely high crime rates, of course, because you don't want to live in a city that is not safe. But to back up that point that I just made, I'm going to go ahead and point back towards the data that I shared about the population gains in Oakland and Macomb County, and the very slight population loss overall for the metro area and for the state of Michigan in comparison to Detroit losing 25% of its population during that time span. So yes, the Kilpatrick administration did an unspeakable amount of damage to the fiscal health of the city, and it ruined the public's trust with the government even more. It forced Detroit to continue to apply some of the highest tax rates that we see in a major city throughout the country.
That's crazy, and you know, there's still no change, and I think, you know, it's at a point where people are just stuck here. People don't want to be here, they're just stuck, you know? They're stuck. So shout out to y'all who made it out, you know? Shout out to y'all. Shout out to y'all. For real. Salute.
And it has made it just that much harder for Detroit to try and turn around the momentum of the city. But the corruption in Detroit doesn't end with Kwame Kilpatrick, as there has been a slew of other city officials that have been under investigation for corruption since Kilpatrick left office in 2008. Next up on the timeline of Detroit corruption brings us to a man named Charles Pugh, who was a TV reporter in Detroit upon being elected president of the Detroit City Council with no political experience back in 2009. This was despite the fact that Pugh's home was in the process of being foreclosed on, despite making a nice living as a local TV reporter for Detroit's Fox affiliate, WJBK. The man wasn't short on cash, as it's well documented that he had a large selection of expensive clothes. Nonetheless,
I must say this, you know, Patrick didn't run for mayor. He was given, you know, he was, you know, grandfathered in, if you know what I mean. And then this dude here has no experience. It's weird. It's a pattern. There's a pattern. Again, anybody, if you want to run for mayor in the D, go ahead. You never know. Might change your life. Because they're accepting who the fuck ever. For what the fuck ever. That's concerning.
Pugh was Detroit's first openly gay councilman and promised to fix a corrupt city council, which, of course, didn't happen. This, by the way, is the Marion Law Academy Elementary School. Anyway, as is often the case with corrupt politicians, and criminals for that matter, Pugh was able to be manipulative towards the public through his charming and charismatic traits that he displayed through his TV career, and that
I must say this, though, to Detroit. How many times we gonna fall for the if you can't do ski? How many dreams we gonna be sold? How many dreams we gonna buy? Because, again, it's half our fault. It is. Because we voted. And I've heard from supporters, so there is people out there that did support these people. So, we can't put all the blame on them. We can't do that. Because we did support some of these serpent, snake motherfuckers. So, it takes two to tango. How many times are we going to get the if you can do? We got to quit buying dreams, y'all. We've been sold 1, 2, 3, 4 so far that I can just think of off rip. We got to do better, to Detroit. We got to do better.
explains how Pugh was able to win the popularity contest of being elected as the president of the Detroit City Council with no political experience. Also, just like with other corrupt politicians, Pugh's quote-unquote charm and charisma would magically disappear when faced with criticism during press conferences and media interviews. Pugh would sometimes fire back at critics on social media in a non-professional and juvenile way, and Pugh would threaten to end interviews on the radio when tough questions emerged over the city's finances. Pugh worked for the city of Detroit from 2010 to 2013 and made $77,000 a year as a councilman.
So it makes sense why there's so much, rugs here and rug dealers. You got to get it how you live. Wow, it all goes together. When you have a city of just nothing but fucking corruption, it all makes sense. It all fucking makes sense. So, in any other state, if you got, the same shit going on, it's gonna go together. If you got a lot of ongoing corruption and no money and just greedy fucking motherfuckers, it's gonna be a bad place. It's gonna be a bad community. That's just how it goes. That's crazy work.
Along with having a city-financed car, gas paid for, and a city-issued cell phone. With that said, Pugh arguably made more money while working as a TV reporter, as Detroit was still a top 10 TV market while he worked in media. Anyway, keep in mind that during this time, Detroit was dealing with the aftermath of the Kwame Kilpatrick era, so the city was facing a lot of financial stress. Former Detroit Piston Dave Bing was the mayor of Detroit during this time, in which speculations came out that Pugh was trying to drive up tensions between the council and the mayor in attempts to maybe make a run for being the mayor of Detroit himself. Knowing that, Pugh failed to file his campaign finance reports, which obviously drew up questions as to how he was able to finance his campaigns. This is despite not being able to keep up with his payments on his condo just east of downtown Detroit. Ultimately, Pugh said that there was a delay on getting information from his former finance and campaign director. And obviously nobody believed that. And this abandoned school building sits on the same property as the Marion Law Academy School that I just showed you, but you can see here that this used to be a traditional Detroit public school. Well, after a few years into his political career, Pugh underwent an intense weight loss program which became controversial. He even released a video on social media that showed what he was able to accomplish with his body. Needless to say, nobody cared, nor did anybody give him the response that he wanted. Instead, more questions came about, wondering if Pugh had been neglecting his responsibility as the president of the Detroit City Council. Questioned Detroit City Council, but also with Detroit's police department. More on that in just a second, as it's worth pointing out that alongside these two council members pleading guilty to corruption-related offenses, there were two other council members that had their homes raided by the FBI. The FBI also raided the City Hall. Anyway, in the city of Detroit, as said by Mayor Mike Duggan during a May 31st, 2022 press conference, a system was adapted by the Detroit Board of Police Commissioners in 2011 to allow towers to get permits in the city without bidding, and that these permits are
See, I just seen he missed somebody on this list, and a big person. So hold on, let me help you. You missed somebody on the list, buddy. A big, big, big fat player on this motherfucking board. Let me show y'all.
The movement where diverse tech professionals connect, belong, and rise together.
Thanks to the Gilbert family.
Well, we are often inspired seeing people break through barriers on their way to success. Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy had to break through at least two of them. As part of our celebration of Women's History Month, Victor Williams got a chance to speak with Prosecutor Worthy about the trail she's blazed.
Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy achieved several milestones when she took office in 2004, but as you'll see, she doesn't want those glass ceilings and barriers to exist anymore.
I took the bench in January of 1995 and then returned to the prosecutor's office 9 years after that as the elected prosecutor.
Kim Worthy has been working in the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office for decades, but when she took office in the early 2000s, she became the first African American and the first female to hold the position.
I'm proud to have been the first. We piloted some programs back there that no one was doing, no one was talking about. In fact, we were ostracized.
Some of those lesser talked about accolades would be the first time an on-duty.
See, real quick, the first question I would ask her if I got to do an interview is, what makes you proud for all these decades? I want to know with her egotistical ask. I want to know what the fuck she has to say. That would be my first question. I wrote it down. If I got to do an interview with Kim Worthy, I got my first question. What are you so proud of, Miss Worthy? That would be my first question.
Police officer was convicted for the murder of an unarmed black man, Malice Green.
I was on the prosecution team that we convicted on-duty white police officers for beating to death a black man. And juries convicted them of murder. It was the first case in the United States where that had happened, where on-duty police officers were convicted of murder. So we knew back here in Detroit that could be done in the 1990s.
Back in those days and the years to follow, there was only one other woman of color in a similar position. Now she's the vice president.
Kamala Harris. Both of us were actually appointed or ran within months of each other. So she was in San Francisco and I was here in Detroit.
AKA, so you in cahoots with this bitch. Man, I believe it. Yup, mate. I believe it. Damn, y'all. Detroit. We gotta get her up out of here, y'all.
While Prosecutor Worthy may still be a trailblazer, she's glad to see her path is becoming somewhat the norm.
When you have Fani Willis in Atlanta, and you have Jackie Lacey, who was the first African-American female who was in first African-American period in LA. You have Kim Fox in Chicago.
And she wants her kids to grow up in a world without glass ceilings.
And I'm the first woman of...
Hold on a fucking minute. She's got kids? Because yesterday I was wondering, Miss Worthy's got kids. I didn't know. I said I hope she didn't. Damn it, damn. But she's got kids, y'all. Miss Worthy does have children. Damn. Well, thanks for answering my question, Miss Worthy.
I'm the first African American to hold this position, but I want them to grow up in a world where it's normal. If this is what they want to do, then they know they can see it. It's everywhere. People of color are doing things everywhere, and it's not unusual. So there's no more firsts.
And if that wasn't enough already, Worthy has even been a professor of criminal law, having lectures at Harvard Law School. Victor Williams, Local 4.
Their rape kit collected for it not to be processed is really the ultimate disrespect. So it's so good to know that because this community stood up, those women at least had that step taken.
At the time, Kim Trent was president of the Enough Said AA 490 Challenge. Trent and prosecutor Kim Worthy organized women and men to use their voices for justice. The movement raised millions of dollars to get the rape kits processed and eventually led to some arrests.
It was probably one of the most important projects I've ever worked on in my entire professional life and civic life.
14 years later, both Trent and Worthy will be honored by the Museum of the Courageous. The museum says its 2022 class is recognized for taking a stand against hate and pushing for justice. Trent credits Kim Worthy's fight and tenacity.
She just refused to say no. She said, I am not going to turn my back on these survivors. And I have to tell you, in the beginning, a lot of well-meaning elected officials just told her, Kim, you just need to let it go.
Big M, what up, though? What's going on with you? I know you being smooth, cool, and true with it. What up, though? What up, though?
Because we're never going to come up with that kind of money, just given where we are right now. And she just refused to say no.
In the years since, legislation has passed to make sure sex assault kits aren't backlogged anymore, proving a few voices speaking up can make waves of change. Brandon Hudson, Fox 2 News.
It's crazy. It's like, it's insane.
Wow.
Yeah. To be connected to something so big. No one made me go through with any action because none of it's true.
We begin tonight with a CBS News Detroit investigation.
A former Detroit police officer says her name and reputation are being trashed online after she says she was accused of a crime that she did not commit. Thank you for joining us tonight. I'm Detriot. It's Friday.
I'm Shayna Humphreys. The accusation came from an affidavit in federal court. The document targets not only that former officer, but some high-profile local officials and a well-known celebrity as well.
CBS News Detroit's Terrell Bailey has been digging into this issue for weeks. He joins us in studio with what he found out.
Millions of court documents fill the federal system, but what if some were forged? We found some documents. All of them appear to be faked, even down to the notary's signature. It all involves a Michigan inmate and allegedly the rapper, P. Diddy.
It's crazy. It's insane.
Wow.
Yeah. To be connected to something so big, because I mean, it is big what he's going through.
Multiple affidavits were recently filed in the Eastern District of Michigan concerning rapper P. Diddy, all of them filed by a prisoner serving decades, asking the court to drop his charges because of new evidence.
I took an oath, and I have respect for the Detroit Police Department.
The allegations date back to 2008 when Derek Lee Cardello Smith was arrested for criminal sexual conduct against two women. The new evidence includes signed affidavits that he claims clear him of wrongdoing. They allege the Wayne County prosecutor, Kim Worthy, among others, all conspired with rapper P. Diddy to frame him, even claiming the arresting officer, Nicole Rabier, was bribed to make a false police report.
Paid $132,000 by Sean Combs. P. Diddy is insane. I don't even know P. Diddy.
Nicole has since retired and lives a civilian life. I contacted her and had her
Dang, we got another fall guy. Damn, an ex-police. This shit's crazy, y'all. The Diddy shit is Detroit. We got players in Detroit involved with Diddy's bitch ass and all the racketeering and all the fucking baby fucking oil, all that weird shit. Wow. The plot always thickens, y'all. This is crazy.
read over the affidavit with her name. She says she never wrote or signed it.
No one made me go through with any action because none of it's true.
People have found the documents in court records and posted them on social media, with some videos attracting thousands of views. As fake documents spread online, they could cause damaging effects.
This isn't my signature at all.
Another affidavit was purportedly signed by the assistant prosecutor of Wayne County, Suzette Samuels. One of the most serious allegations is that Samuels was forced to work with judges and other high-ranking Wayne County leaders to cover up a rape concerning Cardello Smith and P. Diddy. We were sent this statement from the Wayne County prosecutor.
Yo, this is crazy. Wow. And you guys think that she gives a fuck about any shorty or shorty's case? Wow. Crazy work. I wonder how many years this motherfucker did. And I wonder how big his lawsuit was. That's crazy fucking work.
Office. It reads in part, the affidavits in question purport to be from Prosecutor Kim Worthy and Assistant Prosecutor Suzette Samuels, but they are patently fraudulent and contain numerous falsehoods, forged signatures, and notarizations.
Because of the names that he included, he may have bitten off more than he could chew.
Rick Convertino, a former federal prosecutor, has seen his share of forged records. He believes these latest ones will only lead to a longer prison sentence for Cardello Smith.
Mail fraud, wire fraud, false statements in a filing, probably 2 or 3 other.
And you know, that's just how the code goes, you know, and it sucks it's like that because of the law. They're dirty. Dirty dogs. Filthy, dirty dogs. And you know, y'all, she's been in office for decades. So she know what the fuck she's doing. The longer, you heard Patrick yesterday, he said the more, you know, his second term, the better he got. So imagine 3 decades. Again, a lot of shit can happen in 1 year. A lot. Let alone 10, let alone 5, let alone 10, let alone... That's a lot of shit. And she's a master. She's got it down. What's going on, Aggie with the wrench? Salute, salute. I hope you're being smooth with it, cool with it, and true with it. Thanks for pulling up on your girl. Oh, we got Big M's backstage. Hold on, let me bring you up here. What's going on, Big M?
What's going on? What's going on?
Salute, salute.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah, I'm just waking up. I apologize for being late to the show.
Oh, you know, you're not a worker over here, baby. We don't work.
No,
over
I
here.
know it's not work. I wanted to do this.
Oh no, but listen, I'm gonna tell you the truth real quick. So what's really interesting is Coleman. There's just little clips about how there's talk. There's no deep. There's nothing deep. And then there's like, you know, there's this video with all these corrupt players, and I'm like, well, you left one big one out, worthless.
Yes.
And I want to say this, and I said it in the beginning of my video. I feel like she might have to be monster number 4, because in my opinion, the bitch is a monster. 30 years.
If you go down the rabbit hole on her case,
yeah,
you're gonna be amazed. I did that with the Diddy thing here.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I feel like she should be monster number 4, because this bitch, in a sense, you know, when we watch our shows, we like to watch the person that helps plan it. It does more time than the person who does it.
Yeah.
And this bitch has conspired, in my opinion, a couple, you know, unalivings, and she has stolen years of several black men. She prosecuted White Boy Rick.
Deep dive into her case.
Oh, we might have to make her
Look
monster
into
4.
her, because I went on that rabbit hole.
She might have to get the title for a monster number. She's a monster, y'all.
Allegedly, her hand's been in a lot of stuff. Well, I gave her the 2 years grace. Well, I said I gave her 2 years.
Yeah, we did do that. I'm gonna play the video. She was in there swinging her shit, skinny as fuck. I said, "Damn, Kim, look at you.
2
What
years.
happened?" And Kim does have kids.
Yes, I see. I was on here. I came on here.
Yesterday I was like, "Damn." I was like, I didn't know. I was hoping she didn't, but she does. 3 decades. A long time. And I want to ask you a question. It's been said that, you know, we heard Mr. Patrick say he didn't steal no money from the taxpayers. He didn't steal from Detroit. Fuck Detroit, right? He was ordered to pay restitution $1.5 million to the taxpayers. Have you received a payment yet?
Heck no.
I didn't think so. And we got 4 days left. But this motherfucker's down in Texas raising fucking money for a house for his new baby and wife.
You seen it? You found it? I told you.
Hell yeah, I seen that shit. I'm mad as hell. Detroit should be outraged.
The biggest con right now is being a pastor.
Like, what? I can't believe he was able to raise money, though. Like, you owe my guy? Because, again, I ain't received shit. You just said you ain't. 1.5 million is due to the taxpayers of Detroit.
And when he was in office, I was working, okay?
Man.
I wasn't sick then, I was working. I took care of my kids.
Oh, again, no, I don't think anybody's received a payment yet still. And that's crazy fucking work, but he can raise money. That money should have came to the taxpayers. Garnish his wages like you've garnished mine before over some dumb shit.
How they garnished mine one time with that driver responsibility law fee? $200, yeah.
Right, what the fuck we talking about? That shit should have been garnished.
He's a lawyer. How he did it, they can't touch it.
Wow. This is crazy work. So you know, we're on worthless right now. But you know, and you know, she might have to be monster number 4, but I don't know.
Oh, she tried to get the money.
She got, man.
No, she tried to get Kwame money.
Oh yeah, shit. Yeah, that shit. This bitch.
But he's a lawyer. He know how to. Even though
you know the word. He knows the law and the words. It's all about the words and the law. So, you know. And then I was thinking, you know, tomorrow we only got 3 days left, and I was thinking, you know, me and you already talked about number 1 and 2,
mm-hmm.
and number 3. you know, I was gonna just bounce it off you. And Aggie, if you're still in here with the wrench, Aggie with the wrench. I don't know if you're
Hey,
done
Aggie
yet.
with the wrench.
Yeah. What if you're still in here?
Come
But
here,
I was thinking that number 3, it would be monsters, but it would have to be, Granny Monster and Monkey Doo. And Monkey Doodoo, number 2, you know? What do you think?
Yeah.
Maybe, but we'll talk on the phone about it. Okay, Aggie with the wrench says salute. Allie, did you mean ladies? I think you did. Salute to you. You're here. Okay, I was just wondering. Have you what you been thinking about the monster breakdown, Aggie with the wrench? And do you think Miss Worthless is a monster? Oh no, I ain't asking about me. I'm asking about like the monsters. Like, what do you think is crazy work, huh? There's a lot of monsters out there. She said, yeah, she's fake as fuck. Yeah. Yeah. For sure. She's all that and some more shit. Yes, they all crazy. Aggie with the wrench. Thank you. Thank you for the answer. I appreciate your insight.
Other statutes that he violated.
I talked with forensic document expert Eric Spakeen. From what he can tell, the signatures were copied from other documents and then pasted on new ones.
The typewritten name of Samuels and the typewritten signature of Notary Public, along with the date, does not align with the text above. It was done with a different typing insertion, a cut and paste, I don't know what.
Spakeen says forgers often trace or recreate signatures. These documents reportedly contain extra written strokes to thwart the naked eye, like adding tails to letters.
The average person, I would be very confident, would not see this.
So how can forged documents make it into the federal court system?
It's assumed initially that a lawsuit is truthful, veracious, and has the ability to be filed under a good faith basis for a successful outcome.
Cardello Smith is accused of filing other outlandish claims. In 2024, he filed documents accusing Jennifer Lopez of being a witness to a sexual assault against him in the 90s. It was ultimately tossed out. While he hasn't faced any punishment, these latest claims could change that.
It's very possible that a judge in a particular case say your remedies are exhausted, have been exhausted.
Experts say it's very possible these documents could have been forged while in the prison system.
At this point, Detroit it needs to be shut the fuck down. It is mayhem in Detroit at the third level. Absolute ultimate mayhem in this motherfucking city, y'all.
What the ham, man?
What'd you say?
I said, what the ham and eggs?
Oh yeah. Oh okay. My bad. Yeah, no, crazy motherfucking word. This is crazy.
You're
Huh?
giving false documentation to the government?
Dude, this is insane. And like, you hear Jennifer Lopez, we're hearing Diddy Bop, no Diddy, y'all. We're hearing some crazy names in a sense, you know what I'm saying? And then, we're hearing about this mythical mansion party in the D-ski that never happened. And we know that motherfucker happened. And I know Diddy was fucking there. You can't tell me it wasn't. Shit. So this man, and then again, since 2008, I wonder if he's still locked up in Detroit. No, because actually, I played it in a demonstration. Something just came out on this article about this guy. I'm gonna play it in a minute, but this is crazy. I hope this bitch is about to go down. Cause what the fuck?
A typewriter and copier is all that's needed.
It could be done with one person for sure, but it may have been more involved. I don't know.
Conferentino believes new resources will be used to look into these phony documents. All the while, it's the victims that hope the mastermind comes clean.
I mean, where is there a little bit of his heart to even think, you know, there's other people involved?
According to the Wayne County Prosecutor's Office, creating, filing, or presenting false documents or assisting someone in doing so are all potential criminal offenses. Now, we did hear from Diddy's attorney on the matter. They called the documents blatantly phony. In studio, Terrell Bailey, CBS News, Detroit.
Of course
Do you know what the king of the code?
Of course they did. So, because they said they're phony, because they are, you know, God, I guess. What? So now let me show y'all. We're just going to go down. I'm going to type this in. I'm going to type in Kim Worthy, wrongful convictions. And then we're going to count. And we're just going to go down the algorithm. Okay? And then we're going to talk about it. Okay?
You on mute.
Salute to you. So, I'm gonna be on the other page, so I'm not gonna be able to see. I'm just gonna be talking. Y'all will be able to see me, and we're gonna count real quick, and then we're gonna talk about it. These are how many wrongful convictions this motherfucker. All right, y'all ready? Diabolical. So, a month ago, from a case in 2010, we got one. Kim Worthy stands by her decision in the case of wrongfully convicting man Devontae Sanford. That's 9 years ago. Wrongful conviction. Wayne County officials announced. Let's see if that one might be the same one as the first one, because that was, a month ago. So that's the same one. That's Mr. Eric Gardner. Uh, 5 years ago. That's 3. Charges dismissed against Detroit man wrongfully convicted in 1972, 7 years ago. We're at 4.
That wasn't Kim Worthy.
It says right here, Wayne County prosecutor has dismissed charges against.
He was convicted in 1972.
Oh, well, yeah, she wasn't, but yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right. So never mind. Let's subtract. Thank you, Auntie. You right. My bad. Thank you for that one. There's white boy Rick, y'all. Told you a worthy prosecuted him. If you ask me, the motherfucker did more time than they offered fucking monster butts.
I think he was the only snitch I ever know that did more time than the people that.
Man, say it again, Auntie. The white boy so wrong. They did.
And he snitched and got all his time. He told all people.
Man, salute to white boy Rick, dude. They did you dog, dirty dog, wrong. You are another fall guy.
But you know who he turned on?
Who?
Same time.
Who?
Who he doing the story about?
Oh,
He
man.
turned on Coleman.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I said. It was crazy because it was like he was, he was white boy Rick. Then he became, he worked for the Popo. Then he turned on the Popo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He got some heart for doing that. That's what I'm talking about. He was staying on business. I salute him for it.
And even he was young.
Man, young as fuck. That dude was young as fuck. He did his whole life in prison. That's how young he was. Remember he had a shorty and shit. Like that's a
Yes.
crazy work. So we're at 3. Hold on, let's go back. So this guy right here, wrongfully convicted, gang freedom with the help of Wayne County. Let's watch this one because I'm confused.
A man spent 15 years behind bars for a murder he did not commit.
Tonight, he's fighting back to hold police accountable. Aaron Salter filed a $75 million lawsuit against the city of Detroit and the detective accused of withholding information and misleading a witness.
Being in prison was hard for him. It was really extremely hard for him.
Salter owes his freedom to a new team of attorneys and investigators in Wayne County.
7 investigator Simon Shayquette shows us how they're fighting to right the wrongs of the justice system.
Since the start of this year, a special team of prosecutors here have made history. As part of the state's first conviction integrity unit, they are working for justice for the wrongfully convicted.
Stuff I went through, like even in prison, I don't want nobody else to have to go through that.
At 21 years old, Aaron Salter was a college football player with a bright future. But a shooting of 4 people outside a home on Detroit's east side at Park Grove and Reno 15 years ago changed everything. Detectives zeroed in on him for the crime of murder, and a jury found him guilty after he says his attorney failed to do his job.
Even when they look back at his notes, 15 years later, he still had 2 of my alibi witnesses that he never investigated.
Shuffled between state prisons, his countless appeals failed until a federal defender turned his case over to the Wayne County Prosecutor's Conviction Integrity Unit.
Aaron Salter's case is a more troubling case from my perspective.
Valerie Newman and 5 others got to work to uncover the truth for Aaron serving life in prison without parole.
It seems that everyone we talked to knew who the real perpetrator was, and the eyewitness in that case had identified someone who absolutely could not have been there.
Aaron's new personal attorney, Wolfgang Mueller, calls the work of the CIU and Aaron's exoneration truly remarkable.
I tell you, the speed that they're working and the results they're getting in such a short period of time is truly impressive.
In just 10 months, there have been 2 men exonerated and 2 others granted a new trial, all based on new evidence. Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy says a federal grant and support from county government helped make this important work possible. One man was exonerated after serving an astounding 45 years. Another, Daryl Siggers, granted a new trial after 34 years behind bars.
As a prosecutor's office, you cannot be afraid to look at the work you've done as an office. Even if it's way before, even if it's a predecessor's predecessor, I still think we should take a look.
In Aaron Salter's case, the actual shooter has now been identified, another accomplishment by the CIU. As for future cases,
it gives me hope that the court system that is bogged down in procedure, there's a second avenue, and there's a shorter route to freedom.
Prosecutor Kim Worthy says she's committed to raising awareness about this important program and expanding the Conviction Integrity Unit to be able to help more people. From downtown, Simon Shayquette, 7 Action News.
Johnny and I started Black Tech Saturdays with 5 people. Now it's a movement where diverse tech...
Eric said 40 contributing factors to his wrongful...
Before we start this really quickly, this was 1 month ago. 30 days ago. Okay? 30 days ago, y'all.
A groundbreaking review of a wrongful conviction case in Wayne County reveals multiple system failures. The report, the first of its kind in Michigan, examines how an innocent man spent 9 years in prison for a crime he did not commit.
And here's what investigators found. Today, a team of legal experts identified 40 different factors that led to the wrongful conviction of Eric.
Okay, y'all see that? 40. 40 different factors. And this man still did 9 fucking years. That's scary. Woo! This bitch gotta go.
40?
40 different factors led to wrongful conviction.
You didn't catch it at 3?
Huh?
You didn't catch it at 5? They didn't catch it at 10? They didn't catch it at 20?
How
I give them for $1, say 5.
That's what I'm saying, bitch. 40? 40? Explain that shit, bitch.
And still did 9 years?
Okay, we're gonna keep listening. That's fucking crazy, y'all. How can she even have the right to be in office? I forgot that we got whole criminals running this whole motherfucker. This whole motherfucker. All through this bitch. From this coast, that coast, this coast, that coast. All motherfucking wrong motherfuckers. All evil monsters.
Once again, our president has 34 convictions. Felonies.
You know, and we all, you know, crazy work. We get to do what the fuck you want. The generation of we do what the fuck we want. That's what the fuck this is. The kids and everything. Woo!
The kids is diabolical.
That's the word. Say it again.
Eric Anderson. The review requested by Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy found the 2010 armed robbery case relied solely on one eyewitness. Investigators say poor lighting, masked suspects, and delayed witness statements all contributed to the mistake. The conviction was finally overturned in 2019 after one of the real perpetrators confessed.
This process was not a process that assigned and assessed blame or finger pointing. It was very important to me, and I think everybody, that be done so we can have honest discussions and have honest recommendations and honest vehicles to make these changes.
Now, the review team made 25 recommendations, including better eyewitness identification procedures and improved investigation management.
Joining us.
Hold the fuck on. We only get 20 recommendations. How about 40? One recommendation for every fucking failure. We get... I keep hearing people say, "Oh, we're on our way." No, what the fuck? We are in Doom Nation, whatever, Doom Detriot, whatever the fuck. We are already there, through it, in it. What the fuck? Oh, 20. What? We can't even get one for one, eye for an eye. We can't even get 40 at you. Woo! Only in America.
Us now are two people at the center of this groundbreaking review. Eric Anderson, who spent 9 years in prison for a crime that he did not commit, and Valerie Newman. She is the director of the Wayne County Prosecutor's Conviction Integrity Unit. Thank you so much for being with us. And Eric, I just want to start with you. What was your reaction when you first learned about these findings in this review? What did you think?
I was shocked. I didn't know. I knew what happened to me. I didn't know it was 40 issues that was made.
Yeah.
So for me to see that, it was very eye-opening.
Sure. Valerie, the report talks about...
Sir, I'm with you on that one because we got like 16 other men right there with you. But they don't give us a number of how many motherfucking mistakes they made. But if she did 40 on yours, we know it was more than one on others. He said it's an eye-opener for me. By golly. I hope so. For everybody, not just him. Woo. Again, this was 30 days ago. This came out 30 days ago.
25 recommendations for change. Just talk about that, and which ones do you believe will have the most immediate impact?
Well, I think the recommendations for change focus on all areas of the legal system. So I think the most immediate impact will be with the police, because every case starts with a police investigation.
Sure.
So if we can strengthen the police practices, if we can put some extra protections in there when it's a one witness identification, like in Eric's case, it was a stranger, it was at night, the person had a gun in their face, and the person described the assailants as being masked. So there were a lot of things there that should have set off some alarm bells.
Sure.
That this was not going to be an easy identification. You needed some kind of corroboration.
Yeah.
So I think the most impactful starting off will be tightening up those procedures on the police end when they do the investigation. Plus, Eric had an alibi. And had that alibi been fully investigated, he may never have been charged.
Sure. How important is this to come on and talk about this publicly? I would imagine it means a lot to people that are looking at this to say, hey, there were mistakes made, we're acknowledging that, and we're trying to fix it. Talk about that.
Well, I think this is a really big deal.
Yeah.
This has never been done in Michigan. It's been seldom done across the entire country. Because very often what your viewers see is someone coming out of prison and no one is acknowledging the mistakes. And people are writing it off as, oh, this is a one-off, it happened to him, but it doesn't happen very often. But we know now that these things do happen.
Yeah.
And so I think it's so important for Prosecutor Worthy, Chief Bedison, to come together and say, we acknowledge that mistakes were made, we acknowledge that there's ways to fix these mistakes, and we are willing to take the steps necessary to make that happen.
Worthy ain't doing that. She's never wrong. She ain't wrong. That bitch ain't never wrong. I'm about to play the next clip in a minute. Dude was 14 years old when she convicted him. And she stands on it. She says, I stand on what I convicted. Not sorry, not nothing. Bitch ain't what? Get her. I like Blondie. Get her. Get her. She said, Chief and Worthy, we want to hear you say, we're gonna do better. She tells them just to say that because she knows that motherfuckers ain't going to.
They not going to.
Shout out to Blondie. I like her. She's advocating to get Worthless the fuck up out of here. I like her.
But who's going to run against her? She got everybody intimidated to run against her. No one's going to run.
Oh, but we can get. If we can get her up out of here, we can get 2 fucking people to run against, and we can just start new.
Yeah.
Because, like you said, she says it starts with the police, and Blondie said, "Tighten the fuck up, DDP."
Well, I hope Sheffield do her due diligence and get everybody cleaned up out of it.
I hope so. I hope that first woman mayor is righteous. But I ain't met a righteous politician yet. Just saying. This is my opinion.
They sell they soul.
Just my opinion, y'all. That's just my opinion. But Blondie, I like you. I'm rocking with you. And she said, DDP, tighten the fuck up. Because it starts with you, like she said. But we know who it really starts with. Because you're workers. You're the little bitches. You're the lapdog. We all know, they're the lapdogs, the popo. You the lapdogs. You the little bitches. It starts with the little bitches, There's some levels to this shit, code to that shit too, y'all. The popo, you are the lapdog little bitches. It starts with you. It starts with the lapdogs. And Blondie said, lapdogs, tighten the fuck up. Tighten the fuck up.
I don't think you can overstate the importance of what was done with this Sentinel review. And like Eric said, 40 contributing factors to his wrongful conviction and 25 recommendations that span the entire legal system. If we can implement those recommendations, and we made sure that they were practical and implementable, then I think we can make that Eric's tragedy and the almost 10 years that were stolen from him that can never be given back to him, something really good can come from this.
Sure. Eric, you were part of the review process. What was that like for you to be working with the same system that wrongfully convicted you?
It was, I don't take credit in that. I played a small role in it, and that small role was very monumental for me to be a part of, right? The review wasn't done behind my back. They were very inclusive. So I kind of knew a lot about what was going on. What I didn't know about the 40.
With that breaking news now.
Okay, y'all. Now, this is Miss Worth bitch 9 years ago when this dude was released. This is her, Miss Worth bitch, 9 years ago.
On the prosecutor's story in the case of Devontae Sanford, he became a free man yesterday after serving 8 years in prison on a wrongful conviction. Prosecutor Kim Worthy just spoke to reporters. 7 Action News reporter Anu Prakash is live downtown to tell us why the prosecutor is standing by her decision in the case. Anu.
Well, Joanne, Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy says that it was just as of May 20th of this year that she says she got information that called into question the conviction of Devontae Sanford. Now, he was just 14 when he was arrested and later confessed and pled guilty to 4 murders at a Detroit drug house on Runyon Street. Now, almost 9 years later, his conviction was vacated and he was released yesterday following an independent investigation done by Michigan State Police. Now, supporters of Devontae have long questioned why Vincent Smothers, a professional hitman who confessed to the murders, was never charged. In a lengthy presentation this morning, the prosecutor laid out the evidence that she said did not point to Vincent Smothers at the time. She said she acted quickly after MSP found problems with the DPD police investigation into the murders, and she was pressed on why Vincent Smothers couldn't have been charged years ago instead of Devontae.
This is not a case where, as I said before, and I'm going to end on this is not a case where these allegations were made, they weren't followed up. I don't know what kind of, maybe it wasn't done to your satisfaction, but we did everything that we could do to follow up from those confessions. And then we had.
Maybe it might not have been done to your satisfaction. You gonna be spicy with it too, bitch? What? Fuck her. That's our prosecutor, y'all.
She really got. It wasn't done your test.
What'd you say, Izzy?
I was thinking what she said. It just blew me away. My mouth was just still dropped. I heard that.
Mine too. This motherfucker said, I did it 9 years ago. He said it. She said to yours, the way she put that, I'm like, bitch. Ooh.
So a man came to confess 9 years ago. You know he did it.
Oh, like, she's a monster.
Okay, finish rolling. I want to see what she's going to say after this, because she better say apologize.
Again, the 2 years. Plus long hearing where the defense as well as the prosecution had an opportunity to call witnesses. They chose not to. They chose not to deal with, for whatever reason, that's something you have to ask them, on issues that get to the heart of some of the questions that you're talking about.
Now, one piece of evidence that Worthy said that they relied on was testimony from then DPD Deputy Chief James Tolbert, who said this drawing of the crime scene was done by Devontae Sanford on a blank piece of paper. Well, now we've learned that during the recent MSP investigation and an interview of then DPD Deputy Chief James Tolbert, he admitted to drawing the house and that Devontae just drew the bodies. And because of that, we're told now there is a warrant request being reviewed for James Tolbert for a perjury charge. Bottom line, no matter how many times she was challenged.
Hey, Blondie said, Popo, tighten the fuck up, and it starts with them. What? Wow, they're fucking dirty.
On her handling of this case, Kim Worthy insists that her office was not running rogue and trying to railroad Devontae Sanford. As for the Runyon Street murders, at this point, her office is also reviewing a warrant request to charge Vincent Smothers as well as another man. It'll be interesting to see what Devontae Sanford's family and his attorneys have to say, because we're expecting to hear from them later on this afternoon at 2 o'clock. Reporting live in downtown Detroit, Anu Prakash, 7 Action News.
Anu, thank you so much for the update today. We are
very, very, very hard struggle, but it's finally over. Now I would like to take the time to reunite with my family and try to get my life back on track. I'm not about to play the blame game with nobody. It's over. I'm out. That's all I really wanted was my freedom. So from this day forward, I'm just trying to move forward and put all this behind me and go from there, live life, do some things I've never been able to do before, like learn how to drive and go get my driver's license and things like that. I don't
Bitch, he was 14, y'all. She don't give a fuck about no kids. He was 14 years old. Stole his adolescence. I'm gonna just say it. I'm really concerned about a couple cases going on that we really care about, that this bitch is in charge of. I'm super concerned. And at the same time, she's a part of a Diddy scandal. Oh yeah. This is not gonna be good, guys.
She don't care about kids.
Again, this boy was 14 years old. And she didn't give a fuck. I wonder what vendetta she had against this little boy. She got me over here rocking in my chair. If you can't tell, I'm over here again, there's a couple cases out there, y'all. I'm super concerned about. She gets away with it. She's been getting away with it for 30 fucking years. Oh man, I'm super concerned. She knows what she's doing. Again, you only get better. You only do 30 years, y'all. That's 10 fucking decades, or 3 decades. And a lot of shit can happen in one. 30 fucking single years of just, she ruins, oh my gosh, she's a monster. And she gets paid to be a monster. And if you don't think she's still, they're not stealing from us, I don't know. In my opinion, the corruption never has stopped. When I started the video, it went back to the years of the 1950s. Nothing but corruption. Nothing. But again, we can't blame them wholeheartedly because we the people voted for them. And I know some of the voting people could say, oh, it was rigged, but we did have a lot of real supporters for Coleman, Patrick, Worthy. I don't know about Hart. That's too far back. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? There was some real supporters. There really was. So, how many times are we going to get the if he can't do? And they say, oh, the charming charisma won the city over. How many fucking times are we going to get sold a dream, Detroit? How many fucking times? I don't get it. How many times are we going to fall for the if he can dooski? Because it's happened 1, 2, 3, 4 times. Unacceptable. In my opinion. Just my opinion. Just my opinion.
Yeah, that's about it. But thank everybody for being here and supporting me. Yeah.
Johnny and I started Black Tech Saturdays with 5 people. Now it's a movement where diverse
Tutman sat down with Devontae Sanford to hear firsthand about what he went through while behind bars.
She said it wasn't easy, but there was one thing he did that kept his hopes up. Paula joins us live now. Let's just say this young man has a lot planned for the future, Paula.
He does, but I do want to give you the 3 words that he had. Plot to escape, but not the kind of escape from prison when you know you have been wrongly convicted. When you're 15 years old and you've been wrongly sent to prison for 4 murders you did not commit when you were 14, there's only one way to feel, and Devontae Sanford felt it.
I thought all were lost.
Devontae knew what he had lost with a sentence of 38 to 90 years.
I never been to homecoming, never been to prom, didn't know how to drive. Like, I still don't know how to drive, you know, like my mother said she's gonna teach me, but I don't know about that.
He was only allowed 5 phone calls a week. Most of them were to his mother, who reminded him that he was innocent, that he wasn't an animal, that he was loved, that there was hope, even though she was often desperate for hope herself.
I got letters about him being hunted at in his room, no showers, no food, being in a hole for almost a year at a time by himself.
So you in this cell, you know, 18 to 23 hours out of a day just in this cell. Like, what you expect to come out that cell when that door open? Like, what do you expect? Like, it's gonna be a monster that come out that cell, you know?
To survive, Devontae devised a plot to escape the physical bars by tearing down the mental ones. He began to plan. Even though there was no immediate hope his plans would ever even come true.
I came up with like a nonprofit organization, different business plans and stuff like that, to help out like juveniles and stuff like that. So.
Come on, get close to your mom. You still my baby. Even though you 23, you still mine.
And the most incredible thing about today, than 9 years ago, is of all of those ideas and all of those plans, they now miraculously have an opportunity to come true.
I know what I want to do in my life. You know, I know where I want to go. I know what I got to do in order to get there. I want to try to give back as much as possible. Like, use my story where, you know, another 8 years or 10 years, 15 years from now, it won't be, you won't be interviewing with somebody else that just got out my same situation.
That is one mature young man who's just gotten out of jail. I do want to tell you briefly something.
Wow, salute to him. Salute to that man, that young man. Wow. You didn't break him, Worthy. You can't break warriors, bitch. You can't. Woo! She's going straight to fucking hell. Wow. Salute. Salute to you, man. Salute. For real. I'm gonna find his organization. I'm donating to him, bro. For real. That's good. That's fucking awesome to hear.
Yes.
I love to fucking. Huh?
We should find that.
Oh no, we're definitely going to. I'm definitely going to salute to him. That's fucking badass, bro. I love that. I fucking love that. There's warriors out here, y'all. There is.
I heard about this story years ago. Because one of my cousin was killed in this thing.
Man, again, she wouldn't even apologize. But guess what? I got one right here where she does apologize, but it's not him. Bitch. What? Again, if you think this bitch cares about a shorty, this is diabolical.
I know she did first thing.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. And Auntie does. Yes, she does. Fucking horrible monster. She only gives a fuck about her pockets and herself. Cause she's dancing with the devil, y'all. But you can only dance with the devil so long.
Numbers.
Mhm.
So she's doing the plea deal, so it's still like a conviction. So they go to trial. They cannot be convicted, so she goes with a plea deal.
And I'm not gonna put you on blast, but she's not lying. You know, I'm gonna say this. You know, I hope I never have to deal with Kim Worthy, but unfortunately, you know, Big M has. She's dealt with the monster, and it wasn't good. Horrible. Prayers and shout out to you, salute to you, Big M. You know, I'm sorry for you having to endure this monster. And I don't, you know what I'm saying? I don't know, maybe, you know, maybe twice, you know, because I know the two things that happened. I don't know if, you know, but I am so sorry. For real. And, you know, I don't want to say it, but, you know, I covered Big M's story on my platform, y'all. And on, you know, and again, she said it. She can speak firsthand. Worthy don't give a fuck about kids. She don't. Big M.
Yeah, the kids in the room.
Oh, they're in the room? Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. Yeah, we're not going to do that. Yeah, because it's so fucked up. Yeah, it's so fucked up. This bitch is a monster. And my auntie Big M, you know, my virtual aunt, I fuck with her all the way and some more shit.
You know, I fuck with you the long way. Say hi, Jay.
Hey, girl. Hey, baby girl. How you doing?
Girl, you just not waking up.
Okay. Well, girl, it's 4 o'clock.
7 o'clock this morning. We was watching videos. 7 o'clock this morning, me and Jay.
Oh, okay. Hell yeah. Tell her I said salute, baby girl. You know, hell yeah, salute to her. All love. You know, it's just ironic too. You know, we got the same name. It's funny. It's crazy work. But again, we'll tap in on that later. But again, you know, she knows firsthand, and you know, I'm sorry you had to endure the monster, but she doesn't give a fuck about children, y'all. And I'm concerned about a couple cases we got going on.
Well, I'm not really concerned about a lot of the cases with her because now they're getting public recognition. So now it's media attention on it. So now they have to do something. They know the spotlight is on them. They have to be held accountable for this.
Again, we need the FBI. Can we get the FBI, please? We heard all these stories of them breaking down monsters. Can we get the FBI, Detroit, please? Please.
Yeah, I'm not gonna touch on that.
Right, like come sweep this shit up, clean it up, and let the new year ride. The new fucking. They tried to say that crime's down this year. I was like, I know the fuck you lying.
Crime is down where?
Here.
Oh.
You gotta always consider the source. So I'm gonna have to look back on. I'm gonna wait till the end of the year because again, I'm like not the in the what's the date? 61 days I've been doing content on this here platform. There's been so much. You can't tell me it's went down.
It's not, I get 3 cases a day now. I am busy. I can't even go to shows. I'm researching all these different cases because I love to do cases. That's what I do. And it's at an all-time high.
And again, Big M, you got some years on me, So you've been here for a while. So you know how you can speak for the news and the what do you had? It's tremendously
Well, see, I don't watch the main news.
No, I know. Not, I'm just saying the crime. My bad. The crime and the stories have. We know. Remember, we were talking about Michelle Blair last night on the phone. Remember?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That was like a big wow. But now we have these cases happening so frequently.
Yes.
So that's what I was trying to say back in the day. It didn't happen as frequently.
No, it did not. It did not.
Yeah. Something's going on. Mayhem. Hella mayhem in Michigan. But it's all over this motherfucker. All 50 of them.
Did you hear how the hell was killed her baby down in the bag?
It'd be crazy work. Hey, you're silly. I did though. I hear everything. Your girl's nosy. I keep telling y'all I'm a nosy motherfucker. I'm nosy. I want to know.
That happened just a few moments ago. This place was surrounded by police officers, about 15 of them, who actually escorted Devontae and his family home from their various appearances today, including one police officer who actually fought to prove that he was innocent as well. Guys, back to you.
Unbelievable. And he doesn't seem to be bitter at all. The fact that he wants to help others is just remarkable, Paula. We appreciate it very much.
Very, very, very hard struggle, but
Hold on, y'all. Hold on 1 second. We ain't done yet. Hell no. Hold on.
Local 4 Defenders showed us at 5 o'clock. The Local 4 Defenders showed us how facial recognition technology played a key role in the wrongful arrest of a Farmington Hills man. Robert Williams was taken into custody in his own driveway in front of his family and then spent 30 hours in jail for a crime he did not commit. Defender Sean Lay back now with how the prosecutor's office is trying to make amends and possibly change how this technology is used. Sean.
Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy telling the defenders tonight she is apologizing to the man her office issued charges on, a case based on facial recognition technology that identified the wrong person of color.
Why your office approved charges in the first place?
Mama, I know you fucking lying. She said, I'm sorry for this dude. This bitch is crazy. I hope to gosh that I don't ever have to deal with this monster. I'm not gonna lie. I actually, there's 2 times, my neighbor, a couple years ago, she tried to, poke me with a machete. And I had to get on the stand. She took it to trial. But, I didn't have to deal with. I didn't know a lot about Worthy at that time, and I didn't see her. You know, she's on the back of the plants. You know what I'm talking about in the courthouse. You know that the old ass picture of her. So when I seen that picture, I thought that's what she looked like. So when I seen her, I was like, damn, what the, you know what I'm saying? And then at my work, you know, one of a male coworker, he strangled me, and I had to get on I had to take, you know, he took it to trial, and he, you know, both of them, were found guilty, and, you know, it was just crazy work, and I'm just glad that I don't know, I'm just super grateful. I can just say that. Because it's crazy out here in the DO. It's crazy out here, bro. And our prosecutor don't give a fuck. Like, the guy who strangled me, like, because he was habitual, he went away for a minute. Like, he got, like, intent to do bodily harm type shit, and he was habitual. But, like, my neighbor, I feel like it was some bitch shit. Like, I feel like she got off. Like, I had to still live across the street from her. And she was crazy. Like, even on the stand, she was, like, mouthing shit to me. Like, you know, me, you know, Auntie, I'm sensitive. So I'm sitting there trying my hardest to be like, do you see this bitch, like, talking to me? You know what I'm saying? And I'm trying to hold my composure. You know what I'm saying? Like, just like, bitch, you know what the fuck you did?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, she's literally, like, sitting there, like, liar. Like, and I'm like, bitch, ooh. You know what I'm saying? Because, like, you know, even though the situation that happened, like, she only got, because she never had any priors, but she is now a felon. She, you know, we lived not even 50 feet apart, so, you know, she wasn't supposed to, you know, even really, you know, but she called the police to my house maybe, I'm not even exaggerating, 100 times in 1 year. I'm like, bitch, you're not even supposed to be looking over here, let alone calling the police to my crib. You know what I'm saying? But good old Detroit, you know what I'm saying? They don't give a fuck. You know, I had, you know, because when she got sentenced, they sent me her PO's information and shit, you know what I'm saying? Just in case I ever need to get a hold, because I was a victim. I had a whole victim advocate and everything. But, you know, it was like, you know, I would be like, yo, you know, because she was really, and thank goodness I don't live across the street from her anymore, because she's off probation now. This September, she got off probation. And I'm like, man, she's probably ready to, man, you know what I'm saying? It's cool, though. It's cool, though. I don't live there no more, so let's go. Let's roll the clip.
Well, we shouldn't have. This is a case that went to an APA. Obviously, I run a large office. And based on the information that we've all gleaned from it, at the time that it was issued, it should not have been.
Wayne County Prosecutor Kim Worthy telling the local 4 defenders tonight that she is apologizing to Robert Williams and his family after her office issued a felony arrest warrant for watches stolen from the Shinola store in 2018. Williams was arrested in front of his family at his Farmington Hills home, spent 30 hours in jail. Her office approving a Detroit police case based only on the use of facial recognition technology that identified the wrong African-American man.
They're 100% sure that they got the right person, and I'm 100% sure they got the wrong person.
It was issued.
You know, and it's her verbiage. She had to say, you know, we run an absolutely large corporation. You know, she had to throw that fucking in there. Bitch, shut up. Like, this ain't even a real sorry.
It's not, and this was by technology. Think about the errors they did before technology. That they're not apologizing for.
Man, and again, this dude did 30 hours in front of his family. That little boy was 14 fucking years old, bitch. 9 years you took of his life. And from day one, dude was confessing that he did it. Bitch. That's because you care about your fucking reputation that bad. That's sick. She shouldn't have that job, y'all. She's not doing it right, because that's sick.
And every case go through her. So it's like they get through. So she had to sign off on the conviction. She had to sign that, take it to her. They all work for her.
They're her workers. Even like I said, Patrick was her worker. He was the dumb worker. He was the one that, you know, and then he wanted to, you know, come out when it was too late, you know, type deal. And they were like, oh, no, sir. He tried to stand up to it, but it was too late. It shut his ass down, but he still owes $1.5 million to the taxpayers to Detroit, but he's able to raise money in the state of Florida for a fucking house for his new baby and shit and run his congregation. Fuck out of here. Because I know
New babies. He just started
babies.
all over again.
Oh, yeah, babies. Because I know me and Big M said, we ain't received a payment. Let me know, Detroiters, if you know, come across this video if you got a payment. Because it's about, we're going 4 days into 2026. Yeah, get the fuck out of here. Fuck that shit. Fuck this shit. This crazy work. We need to take a stand. Numbers matter.
By a prosecutor that shouldn't have. Her supervisor discovered it and dismissed the case.
Worthy tells us she has problems with facial recognition technology and the possibility of it misidentifying people of color. She rejected DPD's policy on it, but will continue to use it in cases. The defenders asked.
Y'all, I was trying to get up off of this shit so quick. Wait, are you fucking kidding me? This is not real. But we're gonna still use it anyway. I'm not laughing like in the back. I'm just like, it's just me. This is who I am. I'm not like whatever the fuck. I don't care. This is fucking nuts. She's saying it on the news, broadcasting. I'm gonna run it back. We got to. Hold on a fucking minute.
In cases, the defenders asking after continue to use it in cases. These policy on identifying people of recognition technology and the possibility of it misidentifying people of color. She rejected DPD's policy on it, but will continue to use it in cases. The defenders asking after it failed in the Robert Williams case, why use it at all?
We're leaning toward that anyway, which is why we just declined the policy. So that's why we have extra steps put in place. This never should have happened. Certainly an apology is owed to him.
Certainly apologies owed to you, and this never should have happened, but we're gonna keep doing what the fuck we doing.
I'm glad I don't leave my
What'd you say, Big M?
I'm glad I don't leave my house that often.
Yeah, and I do believe you might not be in Wayne County. I don't want to put your business out there, but maybe, you were in this county and shit, but yeah, it's looking like that's gonna be a lot for me too, cause this is crazy work.
No, I still come here. I have family here, so when I come out, I come to Wayne County.
Man,
I come to Detroit. I don't shop up here.
Right, you don't hear about nobody moving to the D to change their life. Some of us were able to get out, but a lot of us are stuck. It is what the fuck it is. So let's just keep causing fucking chaos and havoc in this bitch. Why not? You never know with her. Shit. You roll the dice. I mean, why not? That's why there's so much fucking crime here. It all goes together like the puzzle, right? Remember with the puzzle we heard about? It all goes together. You sick bitch. She's a monster.
From us, and we do apologize. We certainly put that in our statement today. The 30 hours that I'm told that he spent in jail after he was arrested should never have happened. This case should never have been issued.
Kim Worthy says facial recognition technology will be used in cases her office prosecutes, but now it must be vetted by a supervisor and must be supported.
She can apologize to him, but not, oh buddy. Again, I'm gonna play one more clip. I gotta show y'all something. Again, this shit is crazy work. Can't make it up. Again, they're all at the same circle. Corruption. They're all working together. Just some are just, higher up than others. They're all in on it.
Yes, they are.
We gonna do one more clip. I want to show y'all this. Y'all remember Nikki Pop case, right?
Oh.
AKA Dominic Robinson, right? Justice for Makari Finley. She streamed a live stream on Facebook, right? Transgender woman or man trying to be a woman. Well, about 10 years ago, a decade ago, her older sister was killed bad by her. She was 20, the boyfriend was 40, and they didn't find her for a year, and she was in an abandoned house in the basement, and the dude took them there and told and stuff. But listen, we're the prosecutor of the case, and I want you to see what detective is hugging up on Nikki Pop's sister's kids, and took real close nurturing to them. I was like, what the fuck? But let's take a gander.
JJ?
I'm sorry, guys. This shit's being stupid. My bad. I thought my camera was still on. All right, hold on. I want to see. Oh, let me go to video. This is funny. Crazy. Oh, okay. Here it is right here, y'all. And this crazy. Hold on. Let me share my screen. Hold on. Hold the fuck on, y'all. She was mighty young back in the day. Hold on. Okay. Can everybody see that person in between them kids? I'm going to click on it. That's Shannon Jones, y'all. I thought you're supposed to... Are you allowed to get personal with, like, when you're doing cases? Are you allowed to get personal like that?
Nope, you're not supposed to. You're mute again.
We have a case that's very near and dear to our heart. That she's the lead investigator to. That miraculously this person just, I want to know too, why this person, who put this person up to, question, someone whose transcripts just came out. But look, y'all, this is Nikki Pop's sister's kids who was unalived in the year of 2015. She was a lead detective in that case. You're not allowed to indulge like that. No, the fuck you are not. But let's listen. Or I don't know, we might have to read or just, I don't know. We're going to see. She was unalived over $750. She was 20 years old. She was with this 40-year-old man. They dumped her in the basement of this abando. She wasn't found for a year until the year of 2016. And actually, this year was 10 years. It happened on 1/1/15. She was picked up by this monster, McCoy. Yeah. Him and his friend did some diabolical things to her, And there we have it. The lead investigator, Shannon Jones, young as fuck, took a heed to the children. Let's read the article. I'll show you the black and white if you think I'm lying. Because she's young back in the day. That we're talking 11 years ago, y'all. In a couple days. Actually, 4 days. This is Shannon Jones 11 years ago. You see her police duty badge? Look at her badge on her sleeve. You ain't supposed to do that. You gotta tuck them feelings aside, shouty, when you investigating these cases.
It's really funny how many cases her name come up on.
Say it again.
It's really, really funny how many cases are tied to her.
I wonder if she still cares about these shorties. And again, there's no video. What the fuck was the point of that picture? That, why that one? Out of the 6 they decided to post. It says, there was a corner closet at the time I observed the unknown remains of a female laying in the closet, Jones said. There's your black and white. That's Detective Jones, y'all. I wonder if her and Worthy are like this, because again, remember, police, tighten up. It starts with the popo. Shannon, you the popo. The lead investigator of cold homicide cases for how many years did you say up on that sand? 20 some years? We need a change. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. Crazy fucking work, y'all.
I'm Kay Cunningham. In basketball and in life, it's all about respect. Getting respect and giving it. Sam Bernstein Law gets respect with their results, experience, and resources. That's the Bernstein advantage.
A young mother missing for a year before her body was found in Detroit. Now the man charged with strangling her and dumping her body is back in court.
And so we are hearing testimony for the very first time. Let's get to Fox 2's Erica Erickson. She was right there in the courtroom.
I held her while Alan choked her and strangled her.
After 20-year-old Deanne Robinson of Detroit missing for a year and found dead inside an abandoned home a month ago, a judge rules her 48-year-old boyfriend Jerry McCoy will head to trial for first-degree murder.
Question: what happened to her body? Answer: Alan put it in the basement of a house.
Several members of the Detroit Police Department testifying Friday that McCoy, after being tracked down in Alabama, came back to Detroit last month, confessing to participating in the murder of his girlfriend with his longtime friend, Alan Jones.
Question: what motivated Alan to kill Lola? Answer: it was over.
How do you make a confession and then take it to trial? I'm confused. I guess let's keep listening.
For the money.
Killed over $750, according to McCoy, who also led police to her body in the basement of that abandoned home on the city's west side.
There was a corner closet. At that time, I observed the
Your girl ain't speculating shit. I don't do that shit. Hold on. Sergeant Shannon Jones. Damn, she looked good back in the day. She looking hit now. Shit. Look at Shannon. Don't hurt him, bitch. That's crazy work. I would ask Nikki Pop. Did Shannon adopt them babies? Does she still care about them shorties? I want to know. Or her other sister, somebody. That's crazy fucking work. If I'm full of shit, you know what to do. Drop the shit emoji in the chat on the replay gang, and I'll eat that shit. I ain't mad at you. If I'm full of shit, drop the shit emoji on your girl. I ain't mad at you.
known remains of a female laying in the closet.
Throughout the long investigation, Detroit police growing a close bond with Robinson's two young children left behind, along with her sister, who says she believes it was McCoy who picked up Robinson back in January of 2015, never seeing her again.
I heard my fiance's son say, "Then somebody at the door for you," and she was home asleep. He woke her up out of her sleep and she got up and left.
The white Chevy Trailblazer later linked to McCoy. As police testify, McCoy admitted he'd been hiding out with family in Alabama, while back here, Robinson's family desperately searching for a year. Her body discovered February 29th.
Question: who killed Lola? Answer: Alan, and I held her.
While the defense argues there's no evidence of premeditation, the judge agreeing with prosecutors that Robinson had been picked up and taken to be murdered.
Question: has Lola's death bothered you? Answer: yes. It made me come back to say I was sorry for what I did.
In Detroit, Erica Erickson, Fox 2 News.
Crazy fucking work, y'all. Just my opinion. Crazy.
Yeah.
So, we're going to be coming back later. We're going to break down Monster 4. We got 4 days left of this year. We're going to do Monster number 4, y'all. So, you know how I like to always, and Big M, thank you. You know what it is. You know what it is. It's all love. Salute to you. You know, thank you for rocking with me. Thank you, everybody in the comments. Thank you, all my Bushwatchers. Salute to you. I see you. It's all love. I hope you hit the thumbs up button for your girl. Tizzy, tap on it. You would look better in green if you come up out them bushes. You know, come be part of the family. Join us. You know? But yeah, I'm gonna end it like I always do. Winnie the Poohski, good old Christopher Robin, you know? You're smarter than you think. You're braver than you believe. And you're stronger than you seem. I feel it in my heart, in my soul, every time. 100. So, y'all have the smoothest. Hey, there's Miss Minnie. Hey, Miss Minnie. I hope your holidays were great. I know you tapped on the thumbs up button. I know you did. I appreciate you. It's all love. Salute to you. Salute to you. But everybody be smooth with it, cool with it, and 100% true with it. As true as you can be with it, you know? And remember, it's all love over here. It's all love over here, y'all. Salute. We'll be back. We doing monster number 4. We'll be back. Monster number 4, y'all. Who's it going to be?